Hey friends! Today I will tell you about the shonen anime Demon Slayer. The story begins with the young Tanjirou Kamado who lives happily with his mother and siblings in a small hut in the mountains. One day the young Tanjiro goes to the town to sell charcoal, so he wandered down from a snowy mountain into the town and sold his charcoal. When Tanjiro wanted to hike back to his home, it was already evening. Then he met a friendly man who told him to stay over the night and mentioned about demons that are said to appear at night and eat people. The next morning Tanjiro arrived home and saw his whole family massacred. The only one seriously injured breath was his younger sister Nezuko. Then he hiked down the mountain with his dying sister, but suddenly Nezuko changed and they fell down a mountain. Then suddenly Nezuko attacked Tanjiro as a demon, while Jiyu Tomioka, a demon slayer, appeared. He tried to cut off Nezuko's head, but Tanjiro was able to fend off the attack. Then the demon slayer Jiyu grabbed the little sister Nezuko and told Tanjiro that his little sister became a demon, and Tanjiro with his keen sense of smell told about another smell of a demon. Jiyu didn't care because he had the duties of killing demons, and Tanjiro begged him and crying not to kill his little sister and that Nezuko would not harm anyone. Jiyu then made an announcement to Tanjiro that the weak have nothing to say, and as a result his family was killed by a demon. Jiyu then stabbed Nezuko with his sword and Tanjiro started fighting with Jiyu. After that Tanjiro throwing an axe, and in the same time that he attacked Jiyu with a small stone and nearly defeated him. However, Jiyu knocked out Tanjiro and was shocked at how smart Tanjiro attacks him. After Tanjiro was unconscious, Nezuko then freed himself and tried to protect Tanjiro. There was a fight between Nezuko and Nezuko was only knocked out by Jiyu and not killed because Jiyu noticed that the two siblings are different and Nezuko doesn't behave like an evil demon, so Jiyu accept everything and leaving them both alone. Before leaving he telling Tanjiro to protect his little sister from the sun. Following, the two siblings left their home and Tanjiro got a big basket to protect Nezuko from the sun while Nezuko hid in a cave. When Nezuko had to go in the basket, Tanjiro realized that she was too big for it, so she turned small. Then Tanjiro wandered into the night with Nezuko in the basket to a temple, where he smelled a foul smell of blood. He immediately ran into the temple, where a demon was lurking. The demon attacked Tanjiro, but Tanjiro wounded him with one axe. Meanwhile Nezuko struggled to control the bloodthirst. The evil demon cornered Tanjiro and Nezuko suppressed the bloodthirst and attacked the evil demon with a kick and smashed his head. But even though the demon had no head left he could still fight, and it came to a fight where Nezuko was fighting the demon's body and Tanjiro was fighting the decapitated head, which he somehow incapacitated. Afterwards Tanjiro helped his little sister and they defeated the demon by Tanjiro pushing him down of a cliff. Suddenly a man appeared. During Tanjiro wanted to give the last hit to kill the demon, but Tanjiro was too soft, and the demon died by the sunlight. The man buried the human killed by the demon, and the man with the mask introduced himself as Sakanji Urokodaki. Then he explained to Tanjiro the dangers of his journey with Nezuko, and Tanjiro followed the man to see if he was worthy of becoming a demon slayer. In the evening they arrived at a hut where Tanjiro realized the test was just beginning. Then the test took place on a foggy mountain. Tanjiro had to manage to get back down from the mountain top, while the way down was full of traps, like pitfalls, and the air was very thin so Tanjiro could hardly breathe. But Tanjiro somehow struggled down and fell asleep while Sakanji Urokodaki accepted Tanjiro as a disciple that Jiyu sent him. Then his training to a full demon slayer began. But before Tanjiro's training began, his master Sakanji Urokodaki explained that Tanjiro had to survive the final selection process on Mount Fujikasa Mo to succeed, and he will ultimately decide whether Tanjiro can participate in the final selection process as a demon slayer swordsman. After that his hard training to a real demon slayer started. Tanjiro then first ran up and down of the mountain and tried to avoid the traps. That helped him to build a better condition to breath in the thin air. Then as his stamina improved he also had to carry a sword. Meanwhile the traps became more difficult every day and more dangerous. Sometime when he was ready and Tanjiro was tutored in the use of the sword. And every day he wrote a diary for his little sister Nezuko. He wrote in the diary that the training was hard and that he was thrown around by the master Urokodaki day after day and he struggled to keep from dying. Nezuko slept. Meanwhile, later when the time came Tanjiro was taught a better breathing technique to learn certain forms, namely the 10 water forms. After half a year of arduous training had passed, Nezuko still slept and Tanjiro worried every day because Nezuko was always continued to sleep and hadn't even woken up from sleep since the beginning of their arrival at Master Urokodaki. The remaining days passed with training, and a whole year later after Tanjiro had started his training, the last task for Tanjiro was to cut up a huge rock that seemed impossible to him. From then on he had to learn on his own because his master Urokodaki teaches him everything he knew. So he repeated all the exercises and tried to cut the huge rock. At some point he despaired because he couldn't produce any results, and so a masked boy appeared and beat Tanjiro until he was unconscious. When he woke up there was a cute girl in front of him, who called herself Makomo and reveals to Tanjiro that the boy's name was Sabito. Then she helped Tanjiro to become better and told them that they were orphans raised by his master. Then she explained the breathing techniques to Tanjiro, that through concentrated breathing can make a person strong like a demon. After another half a year that passed, Tanjiro started to dominate Sabito in a fight and finally he defeated him. After that Sabito and Makomo disappeared with a smile in their faces. Then Tanjiro split the huge rock with a single straight cut. In doing so, Tanjiro noticed that during fight and a possibility to attack is given, he smell every time it and the smell looks like a thin thread, that tells him he can cut through it. Then Tanjiro's master came and gave him permission for the last selection process. They celebrated it with a delicious stew, and during the meal Master Urokadaki explained that demons get stronger by eating people and gave Tanjiro a mask to ward off evil. On the following day, Tanjiro went to the Fujikaisen mountain for the final Demon Slayer exam, where other students who were being trained to be demon slayers were already waiting. At the meeting point of the mountain everywhere grew a special plant, that called wisteria. The wisteria were supposed to keep the demons trapped on the mountain away. In the last selection process, candidates had to try to survive in the mountain full of demons for 7 days in order to be recognized as demon slayers, so Tanjiro went deeper into the mountain and was immediately attacked by 2 demons, which he was able to fend off with his keen sense of smell. Then he concentrated his water breathing to gain more power, and with his sense of smell, he waited to a counterattack and destroyed the 2 demons with his sword. A short time later a huge demon chased another participant and ate one in front of him and tried to catch another one, but Tanjiro stopped the huge demon and saved the other participant. Shortly after that the devil freaked out and talked about how he ate Sabito and Makomo and many more who were the previous students of Master Sakanji Urokadaki. Also the demon said that Tanjiro will be the next meal. Tanjiro was shocked and terrified with rage. Then he attacked the demon, but the demon injured him with a serious wound. So Tanjiro used all of his abilities to defeat the demon. Tanjiro used all possibilities that he saw, and with his above-average sense of smell and also his hard efforts he injured the demon seriously and finished off the dangerous demon with his water-breathing technique. And that's where the video ends. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video check out the other videos and don't forget to like, subscribe.